Hello all, welcome to Abhiram Ias Academy. Let us go through the daily chronicles of January 11th, 2025. So the first article today is President Murmu's invite for this year's Republic Day is to honor the crafts of the South India. It is relevant for your topic GS3 Science and Technology, Intellectual Property Rights, and also GS1 Indian Culture, Preservation of Cultural Heritage. You can find this article in page 1. So we are going to look at what are intellectual property rights, what are the benefits of intellectual property rights, different forms of intellectual property rights, and related WTO articles regarding this. So the legal right authorizes the creator for exclusive use, production, and commercialization of his own creation. Okay. So what are the benefits of IPR or intellectual property rights? The creator has to be incentivized for innovations, and it will also protect from unauthorized use, and the locals are also happy because of geographical indication like things. They get to have recognition for their products. Okay. And it will boost market demand for the products also. It will reward creators. It will also help in preservation of the culture, and it will encourage trade also. Also, consumers will get to know which are the genuine products based on the tags. Then what are the different forms of intellectual property rights? There are numerous forms like copyright, trademarks, and patents, geographical indication, industrial designs, and trade secrets, plant variety protection also. So WTO. WTO is basically an international organization that facilitates trade by setting some common guidelines and rules for all the nations to follow in their trade aspects. So it has come up with numerous agreements like GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff Barriers. Then we have TRIPS. Okay, this is an agreement on trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. We also have TRIMS, that is with respect to the investment. So all such agreements help in framing uniform guidelines across the world to be followed while conducting the trade. So what are the articles relevant here? Article 9 of this TRIPS is related to copyright. Then we have Article 15 and 16 regarding the trademarks. Article 22 is about geographical indication, and Article 25 is regarding industrial designs, and also Article 27 to 29 deal with the patents. So let us understand why incentivizing someone for their creation is so important. Let us look at US. US incentivizes the innovation heavily. Okay, that is one of the reason for advanced nature of its economy. So all major advanced economies incentivize the innovation and help in sustaining the economy in the long run, because it will lead to economic efficiency. So let us look at the copyright. Copyright is nothing but a legal statutory right guaranteed to the original author. He may be author of some music, art, or literature, even software. Okay, so these are different forms, and the authors can be guaranteed with copyright. Copyright is usually valid for the lifetime of the creator, that is, it can be valid for 60 years, and it is protected by the Copyrights Act of 1957. So let us look at patents. Patents are nothing but legal rights guaranteed to the inventors of novel, non-obvious, and useful inventions. Okay, what does these terms mean? Novel means anything that is new. Okay, it shouldn't be in use anywhere before filing the patent. Before the date of filing the patent, it shouldn't be in use anywhere. For example, a novel vaccine like Rotavac by Bharat Biotech is an example. It is novel and also not obvious because of its unique formulation and also unique production process. It is also useful because it saves a lot of children from diarrhea. So it is an example of such novel, non-obvious, and useful inventions. When do we say a technology is non-obvious? For example, if we take a water pump and combine it with some solar panel to save energy, it is not regarded as non-obvious, because anyone with basic technological knowledge can know combining two different technologies can yield maximum benefits. So it is not an example of non-obvious. Then It should also be useful. For example, you create a car but that runs on a rare fuel which can only be found in some Himalayas. So it is not useful to anyone exactly. So then also it cannot be guaranteed any patent. So it has to be novel, new, non-obvious, but also useful. Then the time period of validity is 20 years for patent. It is regulated by Patents Act of 1970. So for example, new drug or some mechanical device which uses novel techniques can also be guaranteed patents. Let us look at the trademarks. What are trademarks? They are also legal rights that guarantee and protect some symbols, logos, names or designs which help us in distinguishing some goods or services. Just by looking at the logo, we will know the product belongs to some brand. That is nothing but the protection by trademark. So there are also collective marks. What are collective marks? A cooperative society may also have some products which will have a unique logo of its own. That is also called as collective mark, and they are also protected by the trademarks. They are renewable for indefinite period of every 10 years you can renew them. And what are the examples? A Coca-Cola brand name is an example, and they are protected by 1999 Trademarks Act. So let us understand about the geographical indication. What does it mean? A product may be having a unique taste or some value or quality, reputation because of the geography from which it is originating. So such products can be given legal rights under geographical indication tag to protect their uniqueness, okay, and also communicate it to the consumer that they are originating from this place. So they are nothing but protection for products originating from specific geographical region which are known for quality or reputation. So they are also renewable every 10 years, and examples are Pochampalli Ikkat and Darjeeling tea. Okay, the tea produced in the Darjeeling may be of unique aroma, unique taste. So the tea will have uniqueness because of the location. So we are preserving its uniqueness through this geographical indication tag. So it is protected by Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act of 1999. Next comes industrial designs. Okay, so a bottle may be of unique shape. For example, a Bisleri bottles. Okay, its ribbed bottle is an example of a unique industrial design, and also a pulsar bike. Okay, a pulsar bike may have a unique shape of the fuel tank, or the body structure may be unique. All these are protected by industrial designs. It is protected under Designs Act 2000, and it is also valid for 10 years, but it can be extended for 5 more years. Usually it is protecting the aesthetic or ornamental aspect of the product. So that is industrial design. Then we have trade secret. So what is trade secret? A company may be having some secret confidential information, and until it is disclosed outside, it is regarded as a trade secret because it is giving the company competitive advantage over its rivals. Okay, so it protects the confidential business information. It gives competitive advantage to the company, and as long as the information remains a secret, it is valid. Unlike the other intellectual properties, it is not protected by any law. It is protected by just confidentiality agreements. For example, a Coca-Cola drink's unique formulation may be regarded as a trade secret. Next, let us look at the plant variety protection. So some of the plants may have unique traits, okay, like higher nutrition content or some unique taste or higher protein content. So these may be bred by farmers or in the research lab setup. So to offer protection to these, we have Plant Variety Protection Act also. So this is 2001 Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act. It is also valid for 15 to 20 years, and examples are a new variety of wheat or mango. So all this can be protected under this. It protects the new plant varieties developed through breeding. Next, semiconductor integrated circuit designs. Any kind of hardware may have unique properties because of the semiconductor chips inside. So anyone who sees the chip may replicate it again, but that will act as a disincentive to the innovator. So to protect the innovations like this, we have Semiconductor Integrated Circuit Designs Act also. So the act is 2000 Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act. So it protects the design of the integrated circuits like semiconductor microchips that we see in tablet or phone or laptop. It is also valid for 10 years. Okay. And then let us see the next article. Kerala Governor Arlekar stresses that governor has rights over higher education governance. It is relevant for your GS2 polity, powers of the governor subtopic. You can find this article in page 2. So we are going to look at multiple aspects. What are controversial provisions in UGC rules, and why was governor appointed as chancellor in the first place, and what are the judicial cases related to this, and what is the latest controversy, and what does the various commissions on center-state relations say regarding this. Center has come up with draft UGC rules of 2025, but the states are not happy because they think it will infringe on the state's autonomy in the higher education governance. So the rules confer some special centralizing powers on the governor, who is in his capacity as a chancellor can appoint vice chancellor of his own choice. And there is also another provision. Vice chancellor need not be having any kind of academic experience. So these provisions have become controversial, and states think that it is undermining their autonomy, and also it is against the federal principles and rights of the state. Let us understand the issue behind this. So does governor has any constitutional mandate for this acting as chancellor? No, there are no specific constitutional provisions which confer the powers of chancellor. So where does we derive these powers from? It is 1935 Government of India Act, and after independence it was continued as a convention. Okay. So education, we all know it is in the concurrent list, but specific entry 66 in union list offers unique power over the center for higher education governance because it wants to establish coordination and determine some standards in higher education that gives overarching power to the center. So under these powers, it has said governor can be acting as a chancellor for the universities, and the powers are derived from 1935 Government of India Act. So what are the powers as a chancellor? He can appoint any of the vice chancellor of the state university. He is the authority to appoint the vice chancellors, and he will attend and preside on the convocations of the colleges, and he can also inspect and have an oversight over the university's functioning anytime. So these are the powers. Let us understand the historical background. Why did British even get this provision in the first place? Because in the colonial times, they don't want students to be influenced by the freedom struggle movement. So they want to isolate the students from the external influences or political awakening. So they have given exclusive powers over the university's functioning to the governor. So because of this, the powers were conferred as a chancellor. It is a British practice also. In British also, the monarch or his representative will have the powers as a chancellor. Okay. It is mainly to suppress the dissent and prevent the universities from becoming the centers of resistance against the colonial rule. They want cheap skilled labor, but they don't want any resistance to their rule. So that's why they brought such provisions. So why are we continuing such provisions even after independence? So governor, being a constitutional authority, he is expected to be a neutral figure and ensure university functions in autonomy. Okay. So governor acts usually on aid and advice of Council of Ministers, but this power as a chancellor comes under his discretion, discretionary power. Okay. He need not act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. It will also ensure academic autonomy. So universities need to be staying away from all the local politics so that students can focus on their career rather than intervening in any political situations and conflicts. So that is one reason. And also it will ensure uniformity across the national universities also. So that is one reason. And it imparts credibility and recognition to the degrees awarded by the universities also. It will also ensure appointments in the university staff is impartial without any political considerations. So that is the reason for continuing these provisions even after independence. So what does judiciary say in this regard? The UGC and also that is University Grants Commission and also the judiciary has time and again upheld the governor's powers as chancellor. They are supporting governor's powers in numerous cases. Okay. We can see the popular ones like 1995 R. Rajgopal case in Tamil Nadu, Then also 2010's K. Shanmugam case, that is also in Tamil Nadu. But the latest one, that is Prem Chandran case in 2023 regarding the Kannur University also, court supported governor's powers itself. But we also have another case in 2002, that is TMA Pi Foundation case, where the court observed that yes, governor has the powers, it is in his discretion to appoint any vice chancellor, but it shouldn't be seen as interfering in the university's functioning or autonomy. So that is the observation of Supreme Court in this case. Let us have a look at the controversies. Latest controversies. States are seeing these powers of governor as undue interference in universities' functioning and autonomy. And they are arguing that it is compromising the academic freedom of the institutions also. In 2022, we see governor has issued, that is Kerala's governor has issued show cause notice to 8 vice chancellors because they are contravening the UGC appointment guidelines. However, the Kerala High Court intervened and restrained governor from issuing such further course of action. There is another controversy in 2022 in Tamil Nadu, where the state government has passed a bill conferring the chancellor powers to the state government. That is, appointing the VC is in the domain of the state government after this act. Then we also have in 2023 West Bengal. West Bengal Governor C.V. Anand Bose appointed Justice Subro Kamal Mukherjee without even consulting the state government. So that is also controversial. And the latest one is 2024 in Karnataka, where the assembly passed a bill conferring the powers of vice chancellor appointment on the CM instead of the governor. So how can we understand this? Let us have a look at the commission's viewpoints also. So there are numerous commissions on center-state relations. So what did Sarkaria Commission and Poonchi Commission say regarding this? Sarkaria Commission has observed that there are numerous criticisms whenever the government is acting on his discretion in his appointment of vice chancellors. And Poonchi Commission says governor's office is a constitutional office. It should not be burdened with extra powers, which will lead to a lot of controversies and public criticism. So it has advised against conferring such powers on governor. Next, so how can we conclude this? We can say these developments reflect the balance of power and the tug of the war between numerous stakeholders, that is state, university for its autonomy and governor for his discretion. So state government's autonomy, federal principles and impartial oversight which is needed for autonomous functioning of the university. So we need clear legal provisions to ensure such political conflicts does not repeat again. So we have to balance the regional educational needs of the state also, and also adhere to the national educational standards which are desired for uniformity across the nation. Next, it also aligns with the National Education Policy of 2020, which argues for more flexible and holistic development of higher education in India. So the next article is about rupee sinking to its all-time low of 86 rupees against US dollar. So it is relevant to your GS3 topic, Indian economy. It is also important for all the basic concepts in your prelims. We can find this article on page 11. Let us have a look at why is it happening. What are the key factors contributing to this? So there is a stronger US dollar and also simultaneously there is weakening of the rupee. So why is dollar strengthening? Soon Trump is going to assume the presidency and he is known for unpredictable policy decisions and also restrictive trade barriers, especially against the nations with which US has unfavorable trade balance like China. Okay. So stronger US dollar is anticipated in the global markets, and also there is rising crude oil prices. Okay, crude oil prices are rising and India's import costs are also rising correspondingly. We have to pay more forex or more US dollar to obtain the same imports if the prices of the crude oil are rising. Then FIIs, that is foreign institutional investors, are also taking out all their investments because of global economic uncertainties and they want safe havens like US. So there is also negative sentiment in the domestic equity market. Then there is widening trade deficit which is increasing the demand for the foreign currency to pay the import bill. Meanwhile, what did RBI do? It intervened in the market. It has sold some of the US dollars to stabilize rupee to some extent. but in this process it has lost some forex reserves also. The forex reserves have come to a 10-month low, that is $634 billion, and possibly US is going to increase the interest rates also to attract investment from abroad. So let us have a look at this in detail. So restrictive US trade measures are strengthening US dollar. So Trump is going to adopt some favorable industrial or economic policies which are going to attract lot of investment from other nations. So favorable policies will encourage investments in US. He is also known for imposing trade restrictions earlier wherever there is unfavorable trade, okay, like in China. Next, rising crude oil prices. Why is the crude oil prices rising? There are few reasons. One is US has imposed recently sanctions on some Russian oil giants like Gazprom Neft and Surgutneft Gas, okay, Surgutneft Gas and Gazprom Neft. And there is a seasonal demand for heating oil also in US and UK because of the winter time, and there are also geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, especially in oil producing nations like Iran. So Iran is having a lot of sanctions from the international community because it is supporting Hamas and Hezbollah like groups which are waging a proxy war in Israel. So that is one reason. So these uncertainties are increasing the crude oil prices. So that is one reason. So why are FIIs searching for safe havens? Usually when the markets are uncertain and there is lot of geopolitical conflicts, FIIs will look for safe havens, that is where their investment will have at least minimum returns and their wealth will not degenerate further. They will look for some stronger markets or advanced nations like US, okay, where their investments will be at least safe and not depreciate further. So it will increase the demand for dollar like a reserve currency, and this will also push up the demand for US treasury bonds, and the yield for US bonds will increase, which will attract the investors from abroad, okay, because of higher yields. And why do FIIs still choose a US like nation where the interest rate is just 2 to 3% compared to India where the interest rate is 6 to 7%? Because the markets like US are advanced, they have well developed industries and the growth is stable there with favorable business policies and lot of liquidity in the market, and also their markets have depth, okay, which might be lacking in the emerging markets. So that is one reason why FIIs choose such stable economies in times of uncertainties. So why is trade deficit widening in India? So we can see the imports are rising because of crude oil prices are rising, but the exports are declining. So we have seen decline in exports, okay, like petroleum products and also gems and jewelry. There are other exports from India also like organic chemicals, engineered goods, all these. So especially in the petroleum products and gems and jewelry, we see significant decline in the exports, that is 22% decline in July and 37% decline in August. So that is huge. That is also contributing to widening the trade deficit. Trade deficit is different from current account deficit because trade deficit is restricted to the goods alone, whereas current account deficit also includes services, okay. There is also surge in the gold imports because of the festival season. The demand for the gold has increased significantly and it is accounting for 20% of the import bill. So that is also one reason for widening trade deficit. And merchandise trade deficit is $27 billion, that is 1.2% of the GDP, which is high. So these are the reasons for depreciation of rupee against the dollar to an all-time low of 86 rupees. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Abhiram Ias Academy.